let your kids watch it.
But I am telling you right now that is not real.
Fictional versions.
What is going on, good people? I'm about to unleash the most ignorant Nintendo Switch reaction video you've heard so far. And I say that because I am not a tech specs person. I really truly don't have much of a grasp on the flip-flops and teraflops and shaders and that. Man, shit's lost on me, okay? Now, what I can tell you is that as an old cranky gamer, I have read some reviews, I've seen the trailer, and I have some thoughts. And my initial thought is, for the most part, I'm not really all that excited for it. Reason being that for me, gaming, each iteration of gaming hardware kind of stopped being that much of a step up after the 7th gen. Because when you went from like Xbox to Xbox 360, PS2 to PS3, like everything, graphics, immersion, gameplay, like everything was like noticeably better, right? And then you went to the 8th gen, somewhat better. And then you went to the 9th generation, also somewhat better. But like I can go back and play a lot of them 7th gen games right now, and they're still fine for me. Graphically, they still look great. They sound great. They play great. And what I've seen of the jump from Switch to Switch 2 so far, I understand the price is rumored to be anywhere from $400 to $500. And I don't know if it's going to be worth it, if that trend is going to continue where the next iteration of hardware is really not going to be that much of a marked upgrade from its predecessor. Now, I'll give Nintendo credit for making this device backward compatible. I applaud them for that. I think that's great. I think with the technology we have at our disposal now, not having some form of backward compatibility is just, it's inexcusable. Now, as someone who prior to this last Christmas only ever really enjoyed Nintendo games, Switch games on a Switch Lite, I never was really taken by the handheld all that much. So this past Christmas for my youngest boy, he wanted a regular Switch. So we got that for him. And he would have me play Mario Kart with him. And this was the first time I had ever taken off the little Joy-Cons and, sitting there playing like that. And it honestly felt like I was like trying to finger a mosquito. It just, I was like, people really enjoy this? And it's like, I felt like really to enjoy the Switch, you would have needed to like a pair of like honest to God controllers, just a controller, not whatever, that little thing. Like playing on like a popsicle stick is what it felt like. So, not having been that big of a fan of the original Switch, and knowing that, in terms of technical prowess, the jump from this one to the next one's probably not going to be all that great, and the price is going to be higher. I mean, I don't really see the draw. Now, I've been seeing that Nintendo's been taking a lot of negative press for basically a lot of the folks are saying, "Oh man, this is like basically this isn't different enough," and this is stupid. This is da 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 da. I don't know what folks were expecting. I think when you look at Nintendo and what they've done historically, they don't always embrace like the biggest, baddest hardware on the planet. Like Nintendo does what they do, and they do it very well. They make amazing, and that's the thing. My issue with like the Switch was never really about the games. It was just the hardware itself. Whether it was the Switch or the Switch Lite, I just personally I never got on board with it. And my kids love theirs. My daughter has a Switch Lite, and my youngest boy, he has, like I said, he's got his Switch, and they absolutely love it, and I'm glad that they love it. But I think that anybody that was looking for some major technological major leap from Nintendo, they probably were setting themselves up for disappointment. Now, I heard one thing about I don't know how true this is, that there's going to be magnetic Joy-Cons that they'll attach that way, and I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like the setup they have now, as far as attaching the Joy-Cons to that middle piece, works just fine. You know, it slides, it holds. It's so far it seems like, you know, that was a issue that didn't really need any sort of correction. But there's something that just keeps bugging me as I'm looking at Switch and Switch 2. Okay, now you put them side by side. Very, very similar in form and function. They're both, you know, convertible devices. You can play them handheld, you can play them on TV screen, great. But these devices look so much alike. Even the logo on the controllers doesn't look all that much different. And that matters. I say that it matters because if you remember the whole Wii U debacle, right? Nintendo comes out with this whole new console, the Wii U. Now, it could be just down to bad marketing, and that's what a lot of people say, but there were a lot of, like, you know, moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas that, you know, they heard their kid wanted the new Nintendo, and, you know, they didn't realize that the Wii U was like a whole other Nintendo, right? And sales really struggled because they were having a hard time differentiating between the two. And that's, I worry for Nintendo that might strike again with the Switch 2, because, again, similar names, similar design. So far, what I've seen, similar marketing. I mean, I hope they learn from history. I hope that, you know, they managed to get their message out that, hey, this is a completely new console. But I think it's a real concern. Anyway, as I said, I think when it comes to handheld gaming, my next one, I'm probably going to get something like an Asus ROG Ally 7 or something like that. You know, something where I'm not like boxed into basically one manufacturer, one, like, I'm not stuck with just Nintendo games. I'm not in just one ecosystem, you know. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking today. I'm getting over like this head cold. It's going around the house. It's a whole thing. Anyway, for what it's worth, that's my take on it. And thank you for watching. And as always, pick your battles, because not every hill's worth dying on.
Remember the last time you used a public restroom?